In 2012, media regulator Ofcom said that Cardiff's first local TV station would go on air. But almost 2 years later, viewers still can't see it on their televisions. The man behind the project is Bryn Roberts. We ask him what is happening with Made in Cardiff Television.
Mr. Roberts, thank you for speaking to Cardiff News Plus. Is this your first television appearance in the last month?
In the last month, yes. Since we got the contract, well, as soon as we had the contract, then I had several interviews on both BBC Wales and ITV Wales.
How do we stand with Made in Cardiff?
Well, the situation is that we won the contract a year last September, but we then had to wait several months for the contract for the infrastructure to be put in place. Now that happened sometime last year, and in the meantime we've been getting the finances together, and I'm glad to say that that has now happened, and we've been given the green light to find premises and to be on air before the end of the summer, end of August, beginning of September.
You're supposed to launch in September 2013.
When Ofcom said that initially, they thought that the infrastructure would be in place, but that was subject to a separate contract between the BBC Trust, who were paying for the infrastructure, and a company called Comex.
So how do you plan to finance the project?
We have major shareholders in place. The largest shareholder is investing £3 million into the project.
Tell me just more about the shareholders. Are they people from Cardiff or are they someone from the UK?
Well, Made in Cardiff is part of a larger organisation. The company is called Made Television, and they won the contract for Made in Cardiff, Made in Bristol, Made in Leeds, Made in Middlesbrough and Made in Tyne and Wear. So it's raising the money centrally, and therefore it's not looking for necessarily Cardiff money for the Cardiff channel.
How many people are going to be working at the channel?
We're aiming to have 20 people. 5 will be working on the raising advertising revenue and sponsorship, and the other 15 will be working on programmes.
Do you think 20 people will be enough for such a big project?
I mean, we have to work in a different way from conventional television. When somebody goes out and does an interview for us, it will be one person going out, not 2 or 3 as happens or did happen in the past. So a journalist will present, record, edit, do everything on a piece for our news programme.
Have you started recruiting people yet?
No. It's only this week that I've been given the green light, and as I said, we're looking at premises tomorrow. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks we will be advertising for jobs.
Do we know where you're going to be based, where's the location, or the studio is going to look like?
We are going to be based in central Cardiff, within walking distance of places like the City Hall, the Millennium Stadium, so that we can entice people into our studio. The studio will be about 500 square feet, and what that will be mainly for our news programmes, but we will have a What's On type programme, which may come from the studio or may come from one of the entertainment venues that we've got in Cardiff.
There's so many questions raised by people saying, do we need another channels when we have a BBC? And obviously there's a lot of financing issues going on.
Well, it all came about originally when Jeremy Hunt, who was then at the DCMS, went to Birmingham, Alabama, and found that there were 8 local television stations there. And said, well, why haven't we got local television stations in the UK? We will be broadcasting 24/7, but only 2 hours of new programming every day. We have to, under the terms of our contract with Ofcom, produce 2 half-hour news programmes every day. One will be at 5:30 and the other one at 8:30. Then we will have a magazine type programme, which is What's On in Cardiff, and that will be going out every weekday. And then there'll be another half-hour programme where we'll be looking at different areas or different parts of the community. So on one night we will have a pub quiz, on another night we will have a look at different cultures that are in Cardiff through their food, which will be called Kitchen Culture. We'll have the history of Cardiff, we'll have current affairs, we'll have sport, but we will be, for the programmes that we produce ourselves, it will be very local.
Thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you.